to you. I'm Wisdom Martin.
I'm Allison Seymour. A developer chosen for the RFK Stadium project. Chief investigative reporter Eric Flack is with us. Eric has been following the stadium process every step of the way. Flack, you've been looking to this overnight.
Yeah, and it's really exciting news, huge news for the Commanders' new stadium. The team has picked its design firm, and it is one of the leading stadium architects in the world. In a release just now made public, they are promising the loudest, most dynamic home field advantage in the entire NFL. They say that's coming to DC. The Commanders have announced the firm HKS will design their new home at the RFK site. You're looking at SoFi Stadium in LA. This is one of HKS's iconic designs. HKS is like the Rolls-Royce of stadium design firms. If the name doesn't mean anything to you, you just have to look at the images of the stadiums that you do know very well. SoFi in LA. That's US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, which was used by the mayor's office as one of the examples of what a comp to a downtown stadium would look like. They've also done Lucas Oil in India. I believe that's a shot of Lucas Oil there, and that is the old RFK site. These are the people, HKS, who literally redefine what stadiums can be. But here's what makes this different. HKS says they are going to channel the rhythm and the roar of that old RFK stadium, the things that made it so special, into this new Commanders home with an updated feel. It's also going to be designed, they say, as a civic landmark right there on the old RFK site, a civic landmark for the nation's capital with monumental architecture and vibrant public spaces, much in the vein of SoFi Stadium like you're seeing right now. Some of these newer stadiums, they are promising to combine what made the old great with what makes the new so dynamic, as you're seeing right now on your screen. Keep in mind, this is not just for 8 to 10 football games a year. The team is saying this is going to host 200 plus events every year, concerts, festivals, global sporting events like WrestleMania or the Women's World Cup, and you need stadiums like these you're seeing on your screen right now to be able to host those type events. They envision this as a year-round destination that's going to connect that old RFK site to the Anacostia River and really invest on DC's east side. Now, here's a big part of today's announcement. We don't have actual renderings for what our new stadium there on the RFK site is going to look like. There are going to be community meetings that are happening in November and December. We're going to get you more information on exactly when and where those meetings are happening. But we now know vertical construction there on the RFK site is going to start in spring of 2027 and the stadium opens in fall of 2030. Now, we do have a statement from the president of the team, I believe, that's Mark Klaus. Selecting HKS as the lead architect marks a major step forward in our journey to bring the Washington Commanders home to the district. This is a big deal to actually make this selection. HKS has a proven track record of delivering world-class stadiums that balance design, functionality, and community impact. So, Wisdom and Allison, you can see that they are going to try and, walk that fine line between creating an updated, dynamic, state-of-the-art stadium that's going to be loud on game days, that's going to have all the bells and whistles, but also kind of thread the needle of making it an iconic community landmark, not making it a big, huge sports, monstrosity, so to speak, and have it be part of that RFK, Eastern District right there along the Anacostia River.
Right. So Eric, this firm, they did SoFi where the Rams and the Chargers play, upwards around the same price, a little bit more to build out there. It may be too soon to say this or too soon to determine. Will this impact the price or any other plans that this team was that they were planning on for that area? You know what I'm saying? Because now you got the firm, so now they come in and say, okay, we know this was the price, but now it may be too early for that.
No. I mean, I think it's a good question, and it's a fair one because we are talking about taxpayer money with much of this. The price tag of this stadium was included in the release, $2.7 billion. And of course, about $1 billion of that, on top of that, is going to be taxpayer money as well. But we are dealing in an aspect in time where prices always seem to go up.
Right.
And in the past, a lot of these stadium projects have ultimately exceeded their price tag. What we know from a taxpayer perspective is that cost is capped.
Okay.
Because we can't go back and take more money from taxpayers. So any cost overruns at this point is probably going to be on the Commanders and on the design firm HKS, but not something I think taxpayers have to worry about beyond the $1 billion that we're already spending on this stadium.
And you talked about it a little bit, but the plan is to be more than just a stadium where football is played. I think you mentioned like 8 to 10 games per season. This is going to be a destination for other things as well.
And that's why I think making the state-of-the-art aspect, the iconic look is something that's going to be so important. I mean, you think about SoFi, which recently hosted a Super Bowl. I mean, these are Jerry World, also known as AT&T
Right.
in Dallas, hosts many of these major events. Lucas Oil in Indianapolis is another HKS design. It has been around for some time. It still constantly hosts Final Fours. I mean, it has kind of stood the test of time as far as being the host for major events. So I think that what is so important in making this investment into our future as in Washington, D.C. and the DMV is that this new stadium is something that's not just for the Washington Commanders, but is going to be across both athletics and into entertainment destination that is going to bring things like the Women's World Cup, that is going to bring a WrestleMania, that is going to bring other Final Four, all things that you may not care about sports, you may not care about that specific sport, whether it's wrestling or basketball, college basketball, but those events bring so much money into the community.
Right.
And that's kind of the payoff of these stadiums, is to make sure that you do it in a way that you're going to see the return on the backside as a community.
Right. And you talked about those things, Super Bowl as well. Now, they haven't announced that a Super Bowl will be coming to Washington because it's not built yet. But in the past, we've seen Super Bowl in Vegas after they got a new stadium, Super Bowl in LA after they got a new stadium. You talked about Lucas Oil, Super Bowl there in a cold environment. So
we have an NFL draft coming here.
Yes.
I mean, the tea leaves are certainly, if you read them, this is something, if done right, and again, we're going to be dealing with the preeminent stadium design architecture firm in the land, in the world. If done right, a Super Bowl will be coming to Washington, D.C.
Okay, and the doors open in 2030.
2030.
Okay, I'm getting excited.
Vertical construction starting in spring 2027.
That's right around the corner.
Not too far.
Okay. Chief Investigative Reporter here, WUSA 9, Eric Flack. Flack, we know you're going to stay right on top of this.
Always.
And we appreciate it.
all right.